Hello, my name is Jacob, and today I will be discussing how secure your private information on social media really is. Online security is something that everyone with access to the internet and social media should worry about. In this generation where nearly everything we do is recorded and saved online, you would think that everyone would be warier of what information they share, but sadly, that is far from the truth. For every social media app, you must accept the terms of use and privacy forms at the beginning. But how many of us actually read the entire form? Almost none of us, because it is ridiculously long, but we really should read them because somewhere in those forms, we allow these apps to monitor every single action we take. Throughout this video, I will discuss my research on this topic. The first source I found during my research is the TED Talk Smartphones, Social Media, and Modern Privacy by Alexei Bitsios. Bitsios has 10 years of experience in web development with 7 years focused on cybersecurity at the time that his TED Talk was made. In Bitsios' video, he talks about how even though nearly all social media apps are free, the companies somehow make billions of dollars a year by using your personal information to show you personalized advertisements based on your interest. He goes on to explain how they track just about everything you do on their apps, from your private messages to what time you wake up and go to bed based on when your phone is on. The reason that they can access so much is because we don't realize how much information we share online, according to Bitsios.
The more it can specifically target you, the more value it has to the advertiser. And in return, by sharing increasing amounts of data with the platform, they can target you better based on your wants and needs. So how do they actually do this? Well, these companies analyze your data in order to create a kind of profile with all of your interests and what you react to. Now, this began simply by, say, analyzing the users and pages that you liked and followed. But once they could accurately do that, they began expanding what they analyze. And nowadays, just about everything you do on these services is tracked.
Bitsios appeals to the audience by scaring them. He makes them worry about their own privacy online by giving examples of things we all do without second thought, like accepting the terms of service agreement without reading it, which gives the companies access to more than we think. My next source is the article 5 Social Media Site Privacy Issues You Should Worry About by Susan Moreau. In Moreau's article, she talks about many similar points as Bitsios, but she goes into an in-depth analysis of what specific things you should worry about rather than just explaining that we should be worried. She explains you should be more aware of your privacy settings because even though you cannot block everything, it is good to know what information you can protect through your privacy settings. She gives an example of why you should be aware of your information by talking about a case in Canada where a woman's picture online was being used for advertising without her knowledge. Moreau appeals to the audience by starting off her article with a personal experience she had with her own privacy. This makes the audience see that she has experience with the subject, and she also gives examples of cases where private information is taken and sold, which makes the audience worry about what might happen to them. Moreau is a reliable source because she has been in the IT field since the early 90s, and her article is published on InfoSec, which is known for their online privacy training. My following source is Lee Rain's article, America's Complicated Feelings About Social Media in an Era of Privacy Concerns. In Rain's article, he talks about how about 90% of Americans feel that they have lost control of their personal information. But when they asked social media users how they felt about their privacy, 50% said they felt that the social media companies would protect their private information and that they trusted them. He also says a big issue with privacy is that many people fail to see how their private information can be used on social media. Rain has different points from Susan and Bitsios and uses more data to prove his point. Rain is the director of Internet and Technology Research at the Pew Research Center, which makes him a very reliable source. Throughout his article, Rain cites graphs and charts to show to the audience that he can be trusted, and he cites all his sources. My next source is Abby McCourt's article, Social Media Mining, the Effects of Big Data in the Age of Social Media. In this article, McCourt discusses what social media mining is and how companies use it to access our information through social media. She cites a 2017 study published in the Journal of Advertising to help prove her point. In this study, they use social media mining techniques to show how much information can be gathered about people through social media. McCourt uses studies to back up her points and make the audience believe her. She's a blog writer, so the opinions in the article are her own, so parts of the article might be exaggerated, but she is still a relatively reputable source. My final source is the article Security Weak Points, Social Media by David Winder. In this article, Winder talks about how our personal security on social media, or just online in general, is lacking. He cites studies and surveys like the Employee Social Network Password Practice, a major workplace risk, which found that 50% of the participants in the survey hadn't changed their passwords in over a year, and 20% had never changed their passwords at all. Winder also talks about how people put too much emphasis on the social part of social media and don't realize how it can be used to steal information from them. Winder uses studies and surveys like the security vendor Proofpoint report to help support his claims. Winder also has been writing about IT security for over 20 years. He's an ex-hacker turned security consultant and has been given many awards for his contributions to information security journalism. This makes him an excellent, reliable source.